Very good. Worst team in the league.
Worst team in the DC United.
Atlanta United. Good try. Uh,
DC is the worst team in the league, are they not?
no, because Atlanta exists.
Whatever you say.
Alrighty, let's talk about it. Um, Ronald Cisneros, Rocos Rios Novos, both in on loan. Coutinho, Porata, Aiden McFadden, and Edwin Mosquera in. Bobby Shuttleworth retires. Tyler Wolf gets sent out, and friend of the pod Jake Mulroney traded to Orlando. I'll let you take over here. What are your thoughts on the window from them?
I do have an analogy for Atlanta's window, but before I get into that, I just did want to say that we added Cisneros and Rios Novo, even though they were a bit earlier signings in the year, but I don't think we had the chance to talk about them. I don't remember if we did or didn't. So
Not really.
I left them on there just in case we didn't just to have an opportunity to talk about them. But my analogy for this window for Atlanta United is picture Atlanta United as a ship, right? There are currently holes in this ship, and the ship is sinking. I feel like this window was they are aware of where the holes are on the ship. They know where the holes are, but they're like patching up the holes with duct tape. Like it's not gonna fix the problem, but you know where the issues are. Like clearly they are making attempts to fill those holes that we have in the team by bringing in Purata and Gudinho in goal and in center back, which is where I think the biggest holes are for the team right now, especially because Miles Robinson is hurt and Guzan is hurt. I just don't. I worry that these are signings to just try to patch the holes for this season, and they're not like thinking about how would these signings fit in beyond this season because we still are gonna have to like restart again next season, and it just feels like at this moment, this team just feels like a culmination of talented players who just can't play together. And I worry that this transfer window is the same thing. We're just adding more players who can't play together just to try to like fill the holes and the problems that we have right now.
This window is, I agree. But the way I see it is less covering up holes with duct tape and just covering up cuts with band-aids. You're just stopping the bleeding of the injury-filled year that you've had with short-term problems so that maybe you can make a run. You've got, I'm reading some notes here. Morata and Coutinho are both just on contract till the end of the year. My guess is if they don't really like to show that they're head above heels everybody else, they're probably gone by the end of the year. Mosquera is going to come in and be your 22 signing. He's going to stay around. Um, Aiden McFadden has been okay as a right back, right, filling in for the injured Brooks Lennon when he was there. These guys aren't here to solve the problem today. They're here to maybe give you a shot at pushing and doing a late season push, right? You guys sit currently in 13th place, but really you're only 5 points out, right? You go on a late season run, you sneak into 6, 7, and you can consider it a good year. Next season, you're getting all these Miles Robinson's coming back. Ozzy might not come back. Brad, I think, made the announcement he will come back. Is that correct?
Not sure, but I
I
haven't
thought
heard anything on retirement. So,
right. I thought that was that big announcement at one point. Um,
oh, I know what you're talking about. I
yeah,
don't remember what that announcement was. They kind of like played like a little trailer to like hype
yeah,
it
they
up
were
or
like
whatever.
hinting at something
You
big.
sent it to me. You were like, "Oh, I think they're hinting that he's gonna retire."
Yeah. Um, but listen, right? These guys are guys who are going to come back and instantly make your team better. So you're going to get better next year simply because you're having your injuries. So you don't need to go out and sign the world. You just need to give yourself a shot, right? So I don't mind this at all. Um,
They gotta figure out a way to get these guys to play together. I see talk on Twitter all the time about this team because they have so many big money, talented players who just like cannot figure out how to play together. This team has Josef, Luis Arujo, Thiago Almada, Marcelino Moreno. Even Cisneros has shown like really good signs so far this season. And yet this team just like you would think a team with all these guys on the roster, like all on the field playing at the same time, they'd be scoring like 15 goals a game. But they just can't piece it together. And I know for like a lot of the season, guys were like in and out like all the time because of injuries and stuff. So it was probably hard to build chemistry. But it's just they can't seem to figure it out. And I don't know if it's like we need an off season for them to like figure it out, get the chemistry, or if it's just like these guys just can't play together. What are your
Yeah,
thoughts on that?
it,
How do you fix this issue?
there might be one too many big egos in the locker room, right? Everybody who wants to be the guy instead of being the group, right? It might mean that you got to knock one of those guys out, whether it be intra league or a full transfer. That might be one way to do it because you've tried with all these, your first year was great with Yosef and Barco and Almiron because they bought in and worked together as a group. They knew that if one succeeded, they would only succeed when they all succeeded, right? Here, it seems like it's a lot of people who say, I'm going to be good and you guys will just be there. And you've got four of those, and now you've got a split locker room. So it might mean you move on from one.
Do you think some of this is a Pineda issue? Like, do you think Tata Martino was able to just command the locker room better, and that's why they were able to click better?
I
Or
think,
is it like a Pineda issue? Like, I guess is this potentially a Pineda issue, or is this like a player issue? Because I do think like the type of player we have now is different from like a Miguel Almiron. Like Almiron seems like a very selfless player. Like would be fine watching Josef score bags and bags of goals if the team was doing well. I don't know if I see that with the players we have currently, but I also don't know if maybe they have that in them and Pineda's just not setting them up for success.
listen, Tata Martino was a manager of Barcelona in peak Barcelona. Then he managed Argentina at peak Argentina. That guy walks into a room and you listen. Then you've got Gonzalo Pineda, who
He was an assistant for
was
peak
an
Seattle, I would
assistant,
say.
an assistant for Seattle, and then here he played for the Mexican national team. He played for a bunch of teams in Mexico. Played for Seattle, but he doesn't have the resume that Tata does. So yes, he was able to command a better locker room simply because of who he was. That being said, if you're a professional, you can step in and listen to anybody and learn something. That's just my 2 cents. But yeah, it might be one too many egos in the locker room he's got to move on from. But we'll see what happens in the window. I think they've done. I don't think it's a loss. I'm going to mark it as a win simply because they technically got better. Right? They filled the injury holes that they needed to fill. But it's not like this was a, oh my god, what an amazing, whatever. This was just something they had to do.
I'm grateful for the depth that we seem to be building. I'm totally fine with the take a shot on these guys, see who sticks for next year. I'm just still a little worried. I'm still a little worried about how this team's going to shape up for next year. But I don't think we have what we need right now to make a playoff push, and we can't seem to like make things stick. But we'll see what happens. Like you said, we're only 5 points or so out, so a very good late season push, and we're in the playoffs, which
Yeah,
would
you
be
guys, you
wild.
guys aren't out of it at all. You guys are not out of it in the slightest because MLS is fun.
Yeah,
But
but my issue is that we have one win in the last 7 games. Like our run of form is just not good.
maybe. But I have seen crazier things happen.
True. I mean, who knows? I'm
Sure.
hoping. I I guess I'd call the window a win. Like I think I like what they're doing. I don't know. I don't know what to I want to call it a loss, but I think I'm just being too harsh on the team.
You're a harsh harsh guy.